What is up, guys? It is Miniman here, and today I've got a new series coming to you. I am going to be myth busting. Woo! Yeah, great! Yeah, great! Basically, what I'm going to be doing is going on to various games, finding out the most common myths about the game, and then proceeding to tell you whether they're actually true or not. First up, Wizard101, obviously, so sit back and hopefully you will enjoy. Myth number one that I am going to bring crashing down today is the idea that the type of snack that you feed your pet on Wizard101 will alter or change what type of talents the pet gets. So, that's basically saying, if I feed it a certain type of snack, when it levels up, it will get a certain type of trait. This is not true.
That's just totally wrong. It's just like wrong. This is wrong.
So when we have a
not
party,
true. It's just not true.
When you feed, let's say, a death pet, a death snack, it will like it more and get more experience points towards the next level. Aside from that, the type of food that you feed your pet has no bearing on anything of the pet. Similarly, it's like feeding it, when you feed it furniture, for instance, when you've got a full inventory and you go, pet, eat a massive table, and it's this tiny spider and it actually manages to devour a table.
Impressive.
Let's put that aside for a moment. That also doesn't have any hold on what happens to the pet later in its life. It doesn't suddenly get a special table trait. So yeah, myth busted. So another myth that is very common and is often told to new users of the game when they're trying to find out what school they should use is that life is the hardest school to solo the game with. Obviously, there is good reason for suggesting this. They're mainly based on heal spells, and so they're often used as a healer, while people such as the storms and the fire do the main damage in a battle. And so if you're trying to solo it, it becomes very difficult to beat opponents because all you can really do is heal yourself and hope they slowly die on their own of old age and whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Now, this myth is both true and false. So, early in the game it is quite tough to use life because, you don't really have that many good spells and whatever. But actually, as you go later into the game, you're unable to solo it. As in, with anyone, you can't solo it with a death, which is probably the best solo because you can both heal a lot and cause damage at the same time. Life is very difficult, obviously, but it complements every other school very well. And therefore, I'd say, although it is difficult to start off with a life, by the time you reach Mushu, you should be doing fine on your own, and they sort of reach a level playing field. So that's both a myth and truth. Take that as you will. So a massive myth that is thrown around a lot on Marleybone is that if you go into the waterworks on that dungeon, do not pick up the waterworks pearl. Apparently, if you do that, you'll get no good loot. Yeah, that's just not true. Sorry to burst the bubble. I've picked up the pearl multiple times while going through Marleybone doing the waterworks, and I have still got good loot, okay? What you may be actually seeing is the fact that the loot dropped in Marleybone is really rather bad for any wizard that's actually quite a high level. Therefore, people go, oh, well, I don't get good loot because of this. In fact, it has no bearing again on the game, similar to the idea of the snacks. There's just no truth in it. It's quite a cool myth, though, to have, and it's quite fun that it's, sprung up and whatever. But yeah, don't worry about picking up the pearl. If you do, absolutely fine. Okay, so this is a major one that actually has had quite a lot of sort of research done into it by players of the game. And when I say research, I mean pretty much they just take a couple of mates and try and fight. There is an idea that if you are in a group duel, let's say there's 4 of you versus 4 entities, the person that kills the most and does sort of the most stuff, helps the most people, whatever, will get the best loot, the most gold, whatever. Now, it's very clear that gold is actually given on a per turn basis. So, I think it's 3 gold per turn. So say you fight for 10 rounds, you will get 30 gold. It doesn't matter if you kill 3 of them, you won't suddenly get like 400 gold or something for that reason. Also, the drops that you actually get are very similar, right? You don't just sort of you don't get it based on what you've done in the fight. So say you kill the boss, you won't suddenly get all the boss loot and no one else get anything. Everything is just split completely randomly. There's a random algorithm behind the game that just gives you random loot from that drop. There isn't any like scaling based on what you've done. So it would be quite cool, because often when like if you're dragging people through certain things, like if you're doing helper quests and whatever, it can be a bit annoying when you get sort of really crap loot and they get sort of better loot when you've killed like all the enemies and whatever. But actually think about it, you're helping them, they need to progress, they need that loot probably more than you do, because you're just doing it for fun really. So yeah, that's another myth that has been sprung up a lot but is not true. And the final one, again coming from the Waterworks, is that if you go into Waterworks, you have to either take a Storm, a Balance, or a Life Wizard with you in order to defeat the final boss. The common misconception here is if you don't go in with one of those 3 wizards, you're going to fail. There is no way of you winning. I myself have completed the Waterworks without Storm, Balance, or Life in my team.
Oh, well done.
And therefore it is pretty obvious that it is a misconception, or a myth, as we want to say. And so, yeah, don't be put off by the fact that that might be told to you. It's absolutely fine. As long as you have people that know what they're doing, you will be fine. So guys, if you did enjoy the video, please smash that like button and let me know down in the comments below how much you enjoyed it. If not, hit the dislike button, and again let me know down in the comments so I can improve for next time.